So a few days ago, I was sitting in a grocery store parking lot in my car, and I realized something that even surprised me. Now, if you're new to this channel, my name is George, and I'm a biological scientist, and I'm 67 years old, and for the past 9 to 10 months, I've lost over 68 pounds using a GLP-1 therapy, along with, of course, changes in nutrition and exercise, sleep, and general lifestyle. And yet, there I was, sitting in a grocery store parking lot, having an insight that had never really landed on me before in the same way. And that these weekly trips have become an important part of my health journey. Not because I enjoy shopping, but because this is where future decisions begin. Long before breakfast or lunch or dinner, every item that goes into the shopping cart, which I will show you, eventually finds its way into my pantry, my refrigerator, and my freezer, and eventually into me. And once it's there, it becomes part of my food environment, part of the choices I'll make tomorrow and next week and next month. Now, if you've watched this channel before for a while, you know that I've spent a lot of time talking about biology, its nuances, its complications. Talk about protein and fiber and muscle preservation and food noise and GLP-1 medications. But today I want to talk about something else. Environment. Because I've come to believe, strongly believe, that some of our most important health decisions happen long before you sit down to eat. So in today's episode, I'm going to kind of take you with me to the grocery store. I'll show you what came home with me this week. And then we'll take a look inside my pantry, and my refrigerator, and my freezer. Not because I think everyone should eat exactly what I eat, but because I want to show you how I think about creating a food environment that works with my biology and not against it. And then we'll come back out here to the porch, as we usually do, and talk about some practical lessons and takeaways that you can apply to your own journey, whether you're on a GLP-1 medication or not. So won't you come along with me, and let's see what came with me this week and ended up in my pantry. Well, folks, here I am. I'm about to start a part of the journey that I do a couple of times a week, sometimes 3, and that is my journey to the grocery store. And I can't really explain it, but today especially, it is an emotional experience. Because I realize that my grocery store trip is part of the journey to health. It's part of me securing and making sure that I have a healthy environment and not one that's going to trip me up. So I can create an environment, a culture at my home for creating healthy food that helps me along the journey to health. And so here I am, and again, I don't know why I'm emotional about it today, but I am. Because I've just realized how important this part of the journey is. Where I have been, for many, many years, I didn't really pay attention to what I was grabbing at the grocery store. I was grabbing the crunch, the salt, the sugar, the texture, and not the things that promote health. And so I'm kind of excited and nervous at the same time. But this will be part of what I'm going to show you today. And I hope you get something out of it. Okay, let's go to the next segment. So the first run is showing us that we got some fruit, some berries, some Granny Smith apples. And here we got a whole bunch of veggies, things like broccoli and green beans and Brussels sprouts, carrots, a chopped salad kit, Parmesan cheese, mushrooms, bell peppers, a cabbage. I could have gotten a red one too, but I already have one. Some zucchini, definitely some peppers, and also I got some sliced turkey. So this is my first part, and now we're going to go to the second part. Here's my next treasure trove. Of course, I forgot. Sweet potatoes. You always have to have some coffee. A little bit of prepared lentil soup, although I'm going to make my own lentil soup with some beef, which you can see here. We got some wild-caught sardines. We got some chickpeas and some tuna and some some salmon. We got some prunes here and I forgot the oregano. So I'm all set for this site. And here I'm in the diaper aisle, but anyhow, so here are a few more items. Again, there's more things that I have at home already. A few tomato products, a kefir, which is a probiotic cultured low-fat milk. Haven't tried that before, but it's supposed to be very good. This is my go-to for a little bit of sweetness in my coffee. It has allulose, no sugar. And this is something else I've discovered. Kava patty made from chickpeas. They taste really good. 20 grams of protein per serving. Of course, some white wine vinegar because I forgot, as you might remember from previous episode, I ran out. Just like I ran out of oregano. And here's a whole bunch of frozen fruit, which will be helpful for me for breakfast or for smoothies. Just and they keep their nutrition, and so they're great. So this will be it for me, and right now I have spent $141, which is not too bad for what I got because it's all healthy stuff. And so maybe I should get some baby food for me. Never now. Whoop, there's the baby down there. But anyhow, I think that's it for me today. So we're back at the fort, home, after a successful trip, 2 bags full with all good stuff. So I feel so much better now that I've done this. Maybe a little less emotional. You're probably wondering, what is this? Well, couldn't help myself. I got myself another journaling book because my other one is almost done. And yes, I journal even ideas for this channel. What do you think? All right. So this is it for now, and we'll go to the next segment. All right, folks. So full disclosure is what we can find in the refrigerator and freezer. There's some items in here that I don't really use, but there are other people living in this house. So what are you going to do? All right. So the things that I look for here is top shelf, feta cheese, hummus, very important, some Parmesan cheese, tomatoes and avocados. Yeah, there's a little bit of peanut butter, non-alcoholic beer. That's for another episode. Here we have cottage cheese, cashew milk, some 2% milk, some salads, fruit, cherries, and some good bread. Oh yeah, so we have the, this is the tenderloin from the other episode, tzatziki from the other episode. We have some yogurt that I made here, as you can see, and also a bunch of grilled chicken, which is also important. Some good meat. I'll be doing a recipe that I'll disclose later on. Some chicken thighs. Here we got cheese, very important for me. These kind of satiating are some good cheese sticks with high protein. Eggs, hard-boiled eggs, of course, a whole bunch of eggs back there. And then this is full of good veggies. You've seen some of those before. Tons of fruit over here. Apples, oranges, blackberries, raspberries, etc. And of course, well, we have some things over here too. The one I want to focus on here is that I have a lot of frozen produce here that I use for smoothies. Blueberries are very important to me. So this is kind of the things that you see in the Logan refrigerator, which helps us to keep us on track and keeps us satiated. Now let's move on to the pantry and see what we can see there. Okay, so welcome to the Logan pantry. So importantly, I have a lot of nuts here that I buy in bulk. And you can see Brazil nuts, don't go crazy with those, obviously. Walnuts and almonds and sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, and pumpkin seeds. And on this side, I use those in the morning, also with prunes and dates. And that's very important to keep kind of things rolling in the gut. Very important for us on GLP-1s. And in the bottom here, I have some flours like coconut flour, like organic oat flour, and almond flour, some chickpea flour, and the like, other kinds of flours. Organic brown rice, think resistant starch cooled here. And on this side, other important ingredients that I use, and ignore other things that I don't use. And so we have flaxseed meal, And we have organic hulled white buckwheat that I make sometimes. And of course, some hem hearts, great source of protein, chia seeds, and rolled oats, whole grain. And of course, we have some quinoa and some couscous, organic, things of that nature. And yes, sometimes I will use some of these products that are already fortified with protein, and that's important. And of course, I have showed you the other day that I do use this rigatoni made from chickpeas, which is very high protein. And please ignore these. Not my choice here, someone else's. So these are the kinds of things that you will find here. And also, let's not also forget that down here, we have things like black beans and kidney beans and navy beans and very important chickpeas. And of course, I have my stash of tuna and my stash of chicken of the sea, Alaskan pig salmon, and sardines. Yes, I like sardines. And what else do we have on this side? Sorry about that. Here's something that's interesting. So these are Kabuli Sierra organic chickpeas, and these are ready to be basically cooked and then dried, and you can pop them like little snacks. So that's kind of what we have for this here. And again, all these things are important for us to, in our GLP-1 journey, in order for us to provide the proper environment. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go out into the porch and have our conversation and wrap things up for us. What have we learned today, starting from going to the grocery store? Okay. Well, hello, folks, and welcome to the porch. So as you can see, my refrigerator is now stocked, my pantry is stocked, my freezer is stocked. You sit there and you say to yourself, but George, my kitchen and my pantry and my refrigerator, my freezer don't look anything like that. Well, guess what? Mine didn't look that way either. It took some time. Just a little choice here and there. You know, Rome was not conquered in a day, and you're not going to conquer this in a day, but you're going to conquer it one small choice at a time. That's all you have to do. That's how you build it up over time. And this is not about restriction, and that's one of the things that a lot of people might worry about. You're going to restrict yourself. No, this is not about restriction. It's about patterns, creating new patterns for your life. You know, and I guess you could say that my diet is sort of a clean omnivore, which means I eat everything in moderation. I eat the meats, I eat the veggies, I eat the dairies. And as you could see from one of the videos, I'm not perfect either. You saw that Chip Ahoy's package in the pantry, which I haven't touched. And by the way, it's migrated to my son's room. I'm all for that. And if you put, oh, my little bird, she's not happy. Anyhow, if you put a cheesecake in front of me, I'm going to eat it and I'm going to enjoy it. No problem with that. But what's happening is that over time, the foods that you thought you could not live without start going out to the edges. So your sugary stuff, your salty stuff, your crunchy, your textured stuff, all this super palatable, ultra processed foods that we all had in our pantries and our refrigerators, in the boxes and in the bags, those start going out to the fringe. And it's not like you're forcing yourself to do this. This is not about forcing. This is about creating space and creating a new mindset. And here is my hummingbird, and he seems to be so hungry that he's not bothered by me speaking. Okay, I wish I could show you. Maybe I'll show you that in a moment. So there's no forcing here. It's just creating space for a new mindset, right? And what happens is that after a while, you start noticing that you feel much better. You have much more energy. And you're not seeking those foods, as I said. And you start connecting the foods, these new foods that you're eating, with the actual life that you're living. And that's important. So couldn't help myself. I had to do another one of these. As you know, I like to, by the way, this is recycled paper from a cat food box. All right, so what do you want to do? The goal is no longer losing weight. The goal is becomes living well. The goal becomes living well. So more years, good years, better mornings, more adventures, more joy, more peace in your life, less pain, less fatigue, more energy, and more time with those you love in a healthy way now. Whether that's your children or your grandchildren. For me, it's the latter mostly at this point. You know, and you don't have to change everything all at once. You just do it one step at a time. So what do? Well, we're talking about grocery trips. So the next grocery trip that you make, just make it a better grocery trip. Just choose a couple of items that you wouldn't have chosen before and try them out and be surprised. So that's all I have for you folks today, and I hope this has been informative and encouraging to you. It certainly has been for me, as I said in the first video clip. A little bit of a surprise, but that's sometimes what happens is these things catch you unawares. They suddenly come into your foreground and you're like, oh my goodness, look at that. That was an amazing change that I needed. So stay curious, my friends, and be patient with your body and be at peace. This is George with GLP-1s for Seniors. God willing, I will see you next time. Take care.